Okay, we just had the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase announced for June 12th, and of course, once that event was revealed, we were going to get some level of leaks. And the biggest leak that's been shared with me is this new one regarding Bethesda and everything they're working on. This comes from multiple sources, including a lot of people looking into this and having a pretty good track record. So let's get right into these insane leaks, because this truly does paint Bethesda as a powerhouse in the gaming industry, especially when they're tied to Xbox. So let's do this. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. Alright, so let's get right into these leaks, because they have a bunch of games that we've heard about, but also has games that we've never talked about before. And to be honest, a lot of these games have either been hinted at for the last couple of years, or they've been rumored for a very long time. Because we have to remember, while Xbox and Bethesda are one and the same, Bethesda was a massive publisher that would release 2 to 3 big AAA games every single year. In fact, they had their own Bethesda E3 event that would take sometimes 2 hours to complete. So when we talk about Bethesda or ZeniMax, we're talking about 8 to 10 AAA studios bringing out massive games. With that said, let's get right into what's being leaked right now. The first game we have to talk about is the next Elder Scrolls game. Here's what's being said about it. The Elder Scrolls set in Hammerfall. The Elder Scrolls will have a political system. Betrayals, marriage, and factions matter in the Elder Scrolls. No dragons in the new game. The Elder Scrolls in full development, early stages. Target release is 2025 or 2026. Okay. So we know that the next Elder Scrolls game by Bethesda is going to be a massive one. Elder Scrolls, when it releases, is usually one of the biggest games of all time when it does come out. It's why people are so excited for Starfield, which will for sure change the sci-fi genre of gaming, because that's just what Bethesda Game Studios does. So the first thing I want to talk about is Hammerfell. This region, if you know Elder Scrolls at all, is pretty massive. There's mountain ranges, grasslands, deserts. It's home to the Alikir Desert, which is one of the most well-known regions in the whole Elder Scrolls world. It's home of the Redguards, who are pretty amazing warriors that are extremely cunning. This also has orcs, goblins, aliens, and a bunch of other races that people get to talk to. So that goes in with the political system of the league. You'll be talking to a lot of factions and a lot of political parties that probably have their own agendas. Not to mention, there's a bunch of factions just like every single Elder Scrolls game has. Yet, the no dragons thing makes me wonder if that's true. But I feel like Elder Scrolls after Skyrim has to have some sort of dragon on stage. I mean, they redefined what dragon combat was in that game so long ago. Yet the most interesting thing to me is that this game is in full development, yet in the early stages of it. Throw in a target date of 2025 and 2026, and we can see that that just might be the time we see this game come out. I have a feeling that it will take around 4 years after Starfield releases for this game to come out. No matter what, I'm excited to see this, because Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite franchises, and I just want to see what the new game is all about, especially since they announced the game over 2 years ago. Now let's get into the 3 new games that I'm extremely excited about. Bethesda Game Studios Austin and Montreal working on Spy Team, Mando MMO at ZeniMax Online, Quake reboots in talks, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout remasters via In Exile. Okay, so the first game is Spy Team by Bethesda Game Studios Austin and Montreal. This game just had a trademark application filed in 2022. This is a very hush-hush game that a lot of people don't know about, yet it's been talked about and rumored a lot lately from certain people that know the inside of what Bethesda is doing. Most people don't know this, but it might be a multiplayer game that we don't know anything about, especially since it's being made by a team that helped develop or even fix Fallout 76 back in 2020. There's a lot of unknown for this game, but I'm excited to see what it's all about, because very skilled studios are working on this Spy Team game, and they've had a lot of time to work on it. So I want to see what foundation they have, what type of multiplayer, if it is that, what they're doing, and when is it going to be revealed. But let's move on to the big game, which is the Mando MMO type of game by ZeniMax Online. Okay, so this game is something I've heard about for a very long time. I didn't hear that it was a Mando MMO, but I heard that Xbox was working on some kind of Star Wars game, and this might just be that game. We all know that ZeniMax Online was creating a brand new studio that was aiming to be a massive AAA studio. They have a lot of resources over there for people to make content for Elder Scrolls Online and of course helping with Fallout 76. Yet it might be time for them to enter a new universe, and that universe just might be the Star Wars world. So as a massive Star Wars fan, I truly hope this is true because I love everything about that IP. I've played pretty much every single game that Star Wars released, from Fallen Order to Battlefront back in the day on the regular Xbox, even Star Wars Galaxies, a massive MMO back in the early to mid 2000s, was a game I truly loved. Look it up, it was a massive MMO that was pretty popular. If this game is anything like that Galaxy game, sign me right up. Day one, I'll be there. And I have to admit, if this MMO releases on Game Pass for PC and console day one, it could be a massive success for Xbox and Bethesda. Let's hope that happens, because I want this rumor to be true more than any other one. Imagine Xbox locking down a massive MMO set in the Star Wars universe. That could really put them on the map even more for not only console gaming but PC gaming, because MMOs really do thrive in that environment. But now let's move on to the Quake reboot, which has been rumored for a very long time, if not the last 2 years. If we remember, this thing was talked about a lot last year. This game was being worked on by id Software, the people behind one of the best shooters of all time in Doom Eternal. We all know that they finished Doom and are now focusing on something different. That game just might be this Quake, a very well-known IP that might need a reimagining. I've talked about this game before when it focuses on the brutality like Doom does, except don't expect the same gameplay as Doom. I say that because if people keep up with the lore of Quake or have read about it, there's massive giant hammers, swords, dragons, crazy amounts of lore, and just honestly big fantasy epic aspects within it. The game is going to be insane, and if this is in fact what id Tech is working on, I mean, look at what they did with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. They made one of the best shooters we've ever played, at least on the single player front, so I expect them to push the boundaries of what melee combat will be in the first person shooter genre, not to mention make this game run at beautiful 120 frames at 4K with probably all the bells and whistles, because that's just how good their id Tech is and their software. So let's hope this Quake reboot happens, or they just work on something they want to work on and give us a massive Game of the Year edition in Quake or some other game. But now let's talk about this Elder Scrolls and Fallout remasters from inXile. I have a feeling this might be happening, but maybe not by inXile. We all know that inXile is a very talented studio that creates some of the best, most in-depth RPGs. Look at Wastelands 3 as an example of that. Yet I do have to admit that we've heard that Xbox wants to remaster some of its older franchises so they can be played in the current generation and get a brand new audience to look at them. Elder Scrolls and Fallout are prime examples of games that could fully use that remaster or even a remake. It could bring these very old franchises to the forefront of gaming right before they release the brand new iterations of the games. And if we look at the remasters going around in the industry, you can obviously see that they're successful. Mass Effect just had a massive showing, and GTA Trilogy sold well even though the game wasn't really well optimized and it was basically a mobile port. People still played it. These are great examples of why Xbox is looking to remaster maybe even some of their Gears of War games, maybe even Halo. You never know. I think they want to get these franchises in the forefront, maybe even Fable, and get them out there so new gamers can play them. But now let's get right back into the leak and see what else is being said. Xbox shifting resources to assist Bethesda with massive workloads, the Elder Scrolls potential 4-time strategy game. So the first thing is Xbox shifting resources to help Bethesda make the games they're known for making, which are big, massive games. This is something that I had a feeling was going to happen because Todd Howard had a pretty awesome interview a few months ago talking about this very thing, how it's kind of a terrible thing that we haven't had an Elder Scrolls game in over 10 years, and that we might not get another one until 15 years after Skyrim. Maybe, just maybe, we need to trust other developers to take on that IP, or we need to bring more people in for them to work on it. That's something I feel Xbox sees and wants to flood Bethesda with. Have them hire like crazy, bring more teams together so we can get a steady stream of those massive games we all love, Elder Scrolls and Fallout being the big ones. This is something I can truly see happening in the next 5 years. Have Xbox flood ZeniMax with a bunch of money and have them hire a lot of developers to make these games. This will not only help Bethesda with workloads, but will also give them more resources to make bigger and better games, not to mention even more games that people can play. That's all this is about, is getting more games out there to the public so we can play them and enjoy them. Which brings me to the next game, a 4-time strategy game revolving around the Elder Scrolls IP. I could actually see this happening because Xbox has been very aggressive when it comes to RTS and strategy games in general. If you look at what Xbox Game Pass on PC, you can easily see they have a lot of strategy games out there right now. Not to mention, they have Age of Empires 4, a first-party strategy game from Xbox themselves. So I'm not surprised if they fund more of these games so they can attract more of the PC crowd over to the Xbox platform, which, if we're being honest, is something they've been doing for the last couple of years. While they provide awesome updates to the console, and I see that, Xbox has been focused on the PC platform for a very long time now. They're trying to get a lot of people to go over to the Xbox PC app. I have a feeling it's going to be a focus this summer and a massive focus if the Activision Blizzard acquisition goes through. So keep an eye out for that, because if you're like me, you love strategy games, and I'm all for that if it's well done, well developed, and a lot of fun. And those are the insane leaks that's been floating around for Xbox and Bethesda. And that's not all. We all know that this summer showcase is going to be massive. We have Xbox and Bethesda really taking their time to provide updates to these insane amount of content they're making. I truly love this time of year because we get awesome updates on Xbox games and just games in general from all these publishers. Even if half of these leaks are real, that's an insane amount of content for Xbox and Bethesda to bring out and show in their showcase. Let's hope they pan out, and let's hope Xbox and Bethesda knock this out of the park, because I have a feeling a lot of these leaks might be true, and I feel like we're going to see a lot more of them come out for not only Bethesda and Xbox, but we're going to see some for Ubisoft, because we talked about them having 20 games in development. We're going to see some from Sony, EA, Take-Two. No matter what, we're going to be flooded with games, and I'm here just for it. But enough of what I think about all this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Will we see Bethesda make this many games? How many of these are actually real? Do you think we'll see even more games in development from Xbox and Bethesda? If this is just Bethesda, how many games are Xbox working on overall? Has it gotten pretty insane with the amount of content coming out for the Xbox platform? How could any publisher even compete at this point with what Microsoft is trying to provide? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been jumping into a lot of Apex Legends, having a lot of fun with that, trying to get to ranked. I got to platinum in, I think, like 5 days, so I'm having a good time with that. Me and my buddy have been playing it. I've been actually solo queuing also, so I'm just having a blast with that. I love the BR. The new season comes out pretty soon in like a week or so, so I've been having a lot of fun with that. And I've been jumping into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, of course, because I'm nowhere near done with that game. I'm at power level like 150 maybe, so I'm about 30 hours in, maybe 35 hours, and I'm just having a blast with it. That game is so much fun. It's a little more lenient than Elden Ring, which it's not as good as Elden Ring. I don't think any RPG is as good as Elden Ring. It's probably one of the best, if not the best RPG I've ever played. But you know what? Valhalla does its job well. I'm having a good time with it, and that's all I'm asking for. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your Xbox Series X, your PlayStation 5, or are you on your PC playing something? Let me know down below, because that's what we're here for. Let's talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.